Hello children, we are back with collision now. In the last video on collisions we did elastic collision one dimension involving body masses m1 and m2. We are discussing a special case here, maximum energy transferred in head-on collision. The collision is head-on collision in this case. Here we have two masses, m1 moving with velocity u1, m2 moving the velocity u2, right? And after collision we are assuming that m1 moves with velocity v1 and m2 moves with velocity v2, right? Now in this situation, imagine when m2 is at rest. If m2 is at rest, then how much will be u2? u2 will be how much? 0. Says m2 is at rest and m1 collides with m2. So you understand this, that m1 will be transferring part of its kinetic energy to m2 and both will start moving with velocity v1 and v2. So we are trying to find out in this collision maximum energy transferred from the first body mass m1 to the body mass m2. Okay, so let's work on this. We know that velocity of v1 of m1 after collision, v1 is this much. We've already done this derivation. Now if m2 is at rest, children, then you put ut is equal to how much you have? 0, right? Now if I put ut is equal to 0 out here, then what do we get? Velocity of first block after collision. If the second mass is in the state of rest before collision, then here we substitute ut is equal to 0. So this term will go how much here? 0. And then we get v1 is equal to m1 minus m2 into u1 divided by m1 plus m2. Right? So this is the velocity with which the first block will move after collision, and from here we can write v1 by u1 is equal to m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2. So we calculated what will be the ratio of the velocity of m1 after collision and before collision. Now I am trying to find out what percentage, what fraction of energy has been transferred. So energy transferred and this will be which energy, children? Kinetic energy. Here I'll write fraction of energy transfer. Fraction of kinetic energy transferred, because here the only energy we are seeing is what? Kinetic energy. So we'll calculate fraction of kinetic energy transferred, and you know very well this energy transferred by m1 to m2, because m2 is not moving. We have delta k divided by ki or k1, whatever you want to write. Okay. So change in kinetic energy of the ball is initial kinetic energy. Okay, that is ki minus final kinetic energy by ki. Now if you put in the value, children, then what do you get? Half mu square minus half mv1 square divided by half mu square. Right? If you solve this, then we get fraction of kinetic energy transferred is equal to half, and m will cancel out. So we get u square minus v1 square by u square. So it's 1 minus v1 by u whole square. So children, this is the fraction of kinetic energy transferred during this collision. Now here I already know the value of v1 by u1. I'll put this value here. If I put this value here, then I get delta k by ki is equal to 1 minus m1 minus m2 whole square divided by m1 plus m2 whole square. Okay, and if you work on this, if you simplify, then you get, children, delta k by ki, ki is equal to m1 plus m2 whole square minus m1 minus m2 whole square divided by m1 plus m2 whole square. Now, if you simplify the numerator, it becomes delta k by ki is equal to 4 m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 whole square. So children, whenever there is head-on collision between two bodies having masses m1 and m2 and the other object, let's say m2 is in the state of rest, then this is the fraction of kinetic energy transferred. Okay. Now we'll see a special case here when if m2 is equal to n times m1. If m2 is equal to n times m1, if you put it here, then we get delta k divided by ki is equal to 4n divided by 1 plus n whole square. Clear? So you have to remember, this is the kinetic energy transferred whenever two bodies undergo head-on collision with one of the objects being in the state of rest, where m2 is n times the mass of m1. Now, for maximum value will be how much here? 1. If the maximum value of this ratio can be how much? 1. For maximum transfer, then we have 4n divided by n plus 1 whole square is equal to 1. And for satisfying this equation, you can see that n will be equal to 1. Right? If n is equal to 1, then 4. 1 plus 1 is 2 square is also 4. 4 by 4 will be 1. That means two bodies will have a maximum transfer of kinetic energy from one body to another when their masses will be equal. Now this is a technical question. Like suppose I have a question in which I have a body of mass 500 grams collides with another body of mass m, which is in the state of rest. And then I ask a question, what should be the mass of m2 so the maximum amount of kinetic energy is transferred from 500 gram mass to the other mass which is stationary. Then we will say that m2 has to be equal to m1, means m must also be how many grams? 500 grams. Okay. So this has to be kept in mind. Okay. Now children, once we finish with this discussion, now I will be saying elastic collision in 2 dimensions, and that will be very interesting. Elastic collision in 2 dimensions. Elastic collision in 2 dimensions. Imagine a situation in which I have two bodies, having masses m1 and masses m1 and m2. m1 is moving the velocity of u and it collides with m2. m2 is at rest, and then after collision, m1 and m2, they go in xy plane. m1 goes something like this with the velocity v1, and m2 goes something like this with velocity v2, and they are making angles alpha and beta with horizontal. Clear? And m2 is stationary, m2 is not moving. Alright? So we will try to estimate what will be the velocities of m1 and m2 after collision. Alright? So here you can see that m1 is u1 is equal to u and u2 is equal to 0. Before collision, we have momentum only along x axis. Let's fix the coordinate system. This is x and this is y. So we have only pxi. There is no vertical motion before collision. So initial vertical momentum is how much here? 0. Now if you resolve, see m1 is moving the velocity v1. So the momentum in this direction will be how much? m1 v1, right? If I resolve this momentum horizontally and vertically, then its horizontal component will be m1 v1 cos alpha and vertical component will be m1 v1 sine alpha, right? We are resolving m1 v1 sine alpha. Similarly, we can resolve now momentum of m2, and what is momentum of m2, children? m2 v2, right? Resolve it. So the horizontal component of momentum will be m2 v2 cos beta, and the vertical component will be m2 v2 sine beta. Clear? Now the situation is very clear. m1 moving the velocity of u collides with m2, which is stationary, and after colliding m1 and m2, they recoil at different angles. m1 is making angle alpha and m2 is making angle beta with the horizontal, right? And now our task is to calculate the velocities after collision. Okay, so we have two variables, alpha and beta are known to us. So we have only two variables, v1 and v2. So we need to calculate two variables, hence we require only two equations, and I can calculate both of these velocities by using conservation of momentum. I don't have to use energy conservation in this case, right? So we will say let velocities of v1 and v2 of m1 and m2 are v1 and v2 respectively. Clear? Now I will be considering conservation of momentum along x-axis, and you know the equation for conservation of linear momentum along x-axis. So using conservation of linear momentum along x-axis. If you consider conservation of linear momentum along x-axis, then what will be the equation, children? Pxi is equal to Pxf. Yes, initial momentum along x-axis is equal to final momentum along x-axis. If I consider initial momentum along x-axis, you can see only m1 is moving along x-axis, m2 is not moving, so it will be m1 into u. And final momentum along x-axis, there are two momenta, one is m1 v1 cos alpha, and the other is m2 v2 cos beta. Both are in the same direction, so I will be adding. So it is m1 v1 cos alpha plus m2 v2 cos beta. So this is equation 1 we got. And remember, our objective is to calculate the values of v1 and v2. Now we consider conservation of momentum along y-axis. See, before collision there is absolutely no velocity along y-axis, and therefore initial momentum along y-axis is, along this axis is 0, and both are moving. See, both the objects are moving like this, right? After collision, the linear momentum along x-axis which is added. When the deflected velocity v1 and v2 like this, the vertical components of momentum will be, one will be up, the other will be down. So you can see that momentum after collision will be what? m1 v1 sin alpha minus m2 v2 sin beta. Okay. So we will say conservation of momentum along y-axis. If you consider momentum conservation along y-axis, children, then Pyi is equal to Pyf. So what is the initial momentum along y-axis? 0. Final momentum is m1 v1 sin alpha minus m2 v2 sin beta, right? So if you bring it on the left hand side, then we have m2 v2 sin beta is equal to m1 v1 sin alpha, right? So if we solve it, then how much is beta? v2, let's calculate v2. v2 is equal to, we have m1 v1 sin alpha divided by m2 sin beta. So this is equation 2. See, I have been able to calculate v2 as m1 v1 sin alpha divided by m2 sin beta. Now what I will do is, I will put this value in equation 1. Yes, actually I am going to substitute the value of V2. So I'll have equation in one variable, I'll be able to solve it very easily. Therefore, from equation 1, therefore, rub this. From equation 1 is children, M1 U is equal to M1 V1 cos alpha, M1 V1 cos alpha plus M2. Now V2 is how much here? This is V2, right? M1 V1 sin alpha divided by M2 sin beta into here cos beta, cos beta. M2 and M2 are gone, they cancel out. So what do you get here? M1 V1 cos alpha plus M1 V1 sin alpha cos beta divided by sin beta. So we'll simplify it now. It's only a matter of solving. So we get M1 U is equal to M1 V1 into common. M1 V1 is common in both of these. So it will be sin beta cos alpha plus cos beta sin alpha divided by sin beta. You can cancel out M1 M1. So how much is V1? V1 is equal to U sin beta divided by sin A cos B plus cos A sin B is how much is sin A plus B? Sin of alpha plus beta. So children, we have calculated the value of V1, and once you know the value of V1, I'll just put it here and calculate how much the value of V2. Right? So this is a very easy problem. Now I'll be proceeding to see collision, inelastic collision in one dimension, right? Alright children, now I'll be discussing inelastic collision in one dimension. Okay? Let's see here, inelastic collision, you know, when I'm saying inelastic, I'm talking about perfectly inelastic collision, right? It is not a semi-elastic collision, and in this case the bodies are going to stick together as one and move with a common velocity. So I'll assume like this, there is a mass M1 which is moving the velocity u, right? And then it collides head on with the stationary mass M2, with the stationary mass M2, and after collision they are moving as a single mass. So what will be the single mass children? M1 plus M2, and I'll assume the velocity is what? V. Is the problem clear? M1 is with the velocity u, so we can say u1 is equal to how much? U, and u2 is equal to 0, and they are combined into a single mass, that is M1 plus M2, and having common velocity v, right? So let's see here. Let mass M1 collides with mass M2 at rest, and both move with common velocity. And both move with common velocity, right? Now, our first job is to find out what will be the velocity of the combined mass. Remember, this kind of problems will get very often in the exams, where all shapes will be provided to you, like a bullet, you know, fired into a block, combines and flies at a single mass. Okay? Then you have a stone being thrown into what? Another stationary mass, and both are combining into a single mass. So this kind of problems will be very common, and then this is how we will be approaching, right? So common velocity we have to find out first. So obviously you can see in the diagram before collision and after collision, both the masses are moving in the same direction. So if I say initial momentum along x-axis, it will be m1 into u because m2 is not moving, and final momentum will be m1 plus m2 into v. So I'll say let common velocity is equal to v. Let common velocity is equal to v. So we have, I'll be using sigma pi is equal to sigma pf. Because there is a motion only along one direction, so there is no need for me to say px and py, right? So we have m1u plus m2 into 0 is equal to m1 plus m2 into v. So we solve it, and how much is v, children? V is equal to, we have m1u divided by m1 plus m2. So that means the two objects will be moving as a common mass, and the common velocity is m1u divided by m1 plus m2. So the question is, how much is energy transferred? So you can do in the same way like we did before. Similar relation can be used in this case also. Energy lost delta k is equal to, how much is energy lost? Is equal to total initial energy minus total final kinetic energy is equal to ki minus kf. K is how much? Half m1 into u square minus half m1 plus m2 into v square, right? And we substitute this value of v. So how much do you get, children? Delta k is equal to half m1 u square minus m1 plus m2 into v is m1 u divided by m1 plus m2 whole square, right? So if we simplify this, children, then we get delta k equals to half m1 u square minus m1 square u square divided by, this is also squared, m1 u square. The whole thing I'll square here, only will be easy for you to understand. Right? So m1 square u square, this m1 plus m2 will cancel here, divided by what will you get? m1 plus m2. So if we simplify, children, we get half m1 square plus m1 m2 u square, here also we have u square, m1 square u square minus m1 square u square divided by m1 plus m2. Children, these two terms will be cancelling out. So how much is delta k? Delta k is equal to m1 m2 u square divided by 2 into m1 plus m2. So this is the kinetic energy lost in this case when the two objects will be having inelastic collision. Okay. Alright, children. Here you have a typical example of inelastic collision, and it's important also, it comes in the exam, similar problems. Let's say this. A bullet of mass small m is fired into a block capital M and gets embedded in it. Imagine you fire a bullet in a block and the bullet gets stuck, embedded into the block. The question is, if the spring is compressed by a distance x, what is the initial velocity of the bullet? Let's try to decode this problem. You fire the bullet into the block, yes. Now the block and bullet, they become one single mass like this. The bullet gets embedded, it becomes something like this. What will be the mass now? M plus small m. And this block will start moving the common velocity. Common velocity will be how much? V. And as it will move, it will compress the spring. The spring will get compressed. So as they will move together, they will try to compress the spring, and then work has to be done. So the conceptual point is that when the bullet will be fired into the block, the bullet gets embedded and therefore it's a perfectly inelastic collision, and I'll find the velocity of the combined mass, and then I'll say the total energy of the combined block will be equal to the work done in compressing the spring. We already know the spring constant is K and the compression is X, that is given to you. Now when you're doing a numerical problem, then small m, that is mass of the bullet, capital M, that is mass of the block, and spring constant will be given to you. So we are having a general discussion on this problem, but for the variations, they will give you the value of small m, capital M, and then they can make it slightly more difficult for you by saying that the surface is rough, right? So we will see that case also, and we will modify the solution. So we will say, let velocity of combined mass is equal to V, and initial velocity of bullet is equal to U. So children, actually we have to calculate U. So we have to transform V in terms of U, right? So use conservation of momentum using sigma Pi is equal to sigma Pf. So what do we get here? Mu is equal to m plus capital M into V. So we know how much is V. V equals to m into U divided by small m plus capital M. So we know the velocity of the combined system. And once we know this, then you can see that combined system is going to move with a very simple thing here. Combined mass is moving the velocity of V. So I'll just use conservation of energy. Now kinetic energy of the combined system will be equal to now work done against in compressing the spring, W spring, right? So that will be, now I'll say this is equation 2. This is a conceptual equation which will be translating mathematically. Kinetic energy of the combined system. So combined system only kinetic energy half, combined mass is m plus capital M into V square is equal to work done in compressing the spring, that is half K into X square. So children, as long as the surface is smooth, I am doing it what? W SPR, work done in compressing the spring. But if the surface is rough, then work will also be done against friction. So that will have to be added here on the right hand side of the equation, right? But right now it is given as smooth, so we will work with a smooth surface. Then how much you have? V square will be Kx square divided by m plus capital M, right? But how much is V? Mu divided by m plus capital M. So this shows, put the value, m into U divided by m plus capital M whole square is equal to K into X divided by m plus capital M, right? So if you simplify, children, then what do we get? M square U square divided by m plus capital M whole square is equal to K into X square divided by m plus capital M. We can cancel out this. So we get here m square U square divided by small m plus capital M is equal to K into X square, right? So U square will be, children, Kx square into m plus capital M divided by m square. So U will be square root of K into X square. This is K, keep in mind, Kx square m plus capital M divided by m square. So you can see x by m will come out of the root. So how much will be U? U will be equal to x by m root over K into small m plus capital M. So this is the initial velocity of the bullet with which it has been fired. Okay. Now I was talking about being a rough surface. So we can have a special case. Special case. Special case will be used for a rough surface. For a rough surface. Children, if the surface is rough, then I'll modify my equation here. Kinetic energy of the system, combined system, kinetic energy of the entire system will be equal to work done against compression plus work done against friction. So one more equation will come and we can easily solve for how much is U. Okay.